Thank you, Sherman, and good morning, good afternoon, everyone, depending on where you are in the world. I am super excited to be with you all here today. Start by introducing myself. My name is Diana Rocha, and I work on the Global Partner Marketing team, leading our modern work through partner marketing efforts. And I'm going to be deep diving here into a new Copilot campaign we have. But before I do, I just wanted to give you an overview of our digital engines and what we really mean by partner marketing campaigns in the box. And the idea behind our campaigns in the box is really that they provide you with a comprehensive, ready to launch marketing campaign package that has been tailored to expedite your go-to-market efforts, meaning that these packages offer you as a partner the convenience of accessing these pre-prepared campaigns, but also while retaining the flexibility to mold them to your specific needs. And they're one of the benefits of the Microsoft AI Cloud Partner Program, and they are available to all of our partners at no cost. We've got two options available for our partners. So digital marketing content on demand that we typically refer to just as DMC, and then partner marketing center or PMC. And I'll explain a little bit more in detail on the next slide what these engines are. But I wanted to highlight here something new we've introduced in Microsoft this year, which is to have our campaigns localized into 11 languages. So that's a lot. I'll drop those languages into the chat later, but you'll find that all of the campaigns are available in Chinese and Japanese and Brazilian and Spanish and Turkish and German and French, and I'm sure I've forgotten a few. But yeah, that was something we introduced this year. And then you might be thinking, okay, we've got a campaign in the box, but how does this fit into the customer engagement model? And when should you be thinking about using a campaign in the box in the overarching journey? And it really is in the first listen and consult stage. And again, another recommendation I want to give here is do use your co-op funds to work with an agency to customize further the assets and actually run the campaign for you. You can contact here the Crancer group to support you with this, as I know they specialize in helping our partners understand how to use and redeem the funds for these kind of demand gen activities. And then after running the demand gen campaign as a partner, you should be then thinking about delivering the Copilot workshop we've put together with the leads that you've generated from that campaign. And we've also got new adoption accelerator programs for partners to really help drive usage of the Copilot technology.
Thanks for having me, Sherman. Looking forward to this conversation. John Turk, I'm at Microsoft. I'm on our data and AI partner strategy. So really excited to talk about how Copilot comes into the mix, how partners can think about where Copilot comes in, how more traditional data and AI solutions come in, and really just some of the best practices we've seen from our early adopters, both the customers we've worked with, but also some of the partners selling the solutions. Looking forward to it.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. Adam Bertram. I'm a director here at Sentinel Technologies in our Enterprise Architecture and Innovation Group. I've been with Sentinel for 16 years, about 25 in the industry, got a long stint in modern work and public cloud infrastructure, so cover everything Azure and M365 related. So looking forward to talking more about Copilot and AI in general.
Hi, Jason Hinton. So I'm a colleague of John's, and I'm focused more on the infrastructure side of things. I'm a former partner seller and former partner development manager, and I highlight those just because I've been where you are, and I really try to keep, as we look at our programs and initiatives and different things that we're trying to drive, where is our partner and what's in it for them, right? So I really try to be that advocate on your behalf, but I'm really excited to talk about AI, which is everybody's favorite topic right now. So happy to be here and participate. Thank you.
So let's open the conversation. I'm going to start off with John, really. Let's open the conversation with building offers and how to help partners make the transition from traditional MSP ISV to now AI and product delivery. Do you want to just kind of start off with the conversation there?
Yeah, happy to jump in and kind of how we think through what the normal business model is, and I'll just say normal, that includes, hardware, managing devices, and going even into some of the Azure infrastructure, towards what we've seen really land when partners are building out the data and analytics practice, which of course leads to AI. So the first shift is kind of really working with the customer and understanding which group and what the business outcomes you're trying to drive. So when we look at AI adoption, it's not going to be a step change where you just move from a customer has a problem to a direct solution that's the same for all customers. Every customer has unique challenges. When we look at what we see in the market, we understand that driving revenue, employee productivity, and just really looking at profitability and optimization are key in almost every segment, every industry, for every customer. And to really get in with that, you have to understand what a customer is doing, what they're looking at right now, what their core metrics are, and that's where the conversation starts. So AI, we all know garbage in, garbage out, right? If you're trying to apply a model on top of it or use AI to solve a problem, you really have to understand what data the customers has, how they're currently thinking about their problems, and then make sure you can come through it. So Copilot is such a great tool because it can really attach directly to customers' data around productivity solutions, and specifically within an application that's tied to, for thinking about Microsoft 365, it already has the graph data. So you can really help customers be more productive right from the start. That's not saying there's not a big learning curve and an opportunity for partners to help go there. But when you're starting with a customer, the real first question is, what challenge are you trying to solve? And this is not going to be a lot of the times to the IT department, because IT departments are usually trying to minimize costs. And what we're trying to do is help customers grow revenue and be more productive. So really speaking their language and understanding that is kind of the first steps. I could talk forever, but I'm going to stop there so we can kind of go through, because it's just such a fun problem to solve, but it also opens up a lot of different challenges and conversations with your customers.
Yeah, it does, right? Yeah, wow, it's just a lot right now, right? And hopefully we're using this to kind of help narrow down where we want to go with this stuff. Jason, do you want to add a little color to that? And then I'll go to Adam actually to see what his thoughts from a partner perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think John talked about like how we need to prepare the infrastructure for what's going forward. And I think that's something that John and I've talked a lot about, is there's an intention, and I want to go to AI. I don't want to be left out. I want to keep up with the competition. But there may be some significant structural things that they need to do with their infrastructure that are going to happen beforehand. Also, John mentioned data. So you can't just have non-clean data and that sort of thing. But an interesting thing that came up around security. Now, security is another hot topic, and people are, have both excitement and fear around AI. But I thought this was really interesting. I was talking to our security director, and one of the things she was saying with Copilot is when you start looking at data, Copilot is pulling data out of your system that it wasn't necessarily the case before, right? Like it's still internal in your space, but they would have data siloed in certain areas about certain things and have certain governance and compliance. And now Copilot's going and getting that data for you, right? Which is great. But now I got to think a little bit more about some data security and some of the other sort of elements of this. So it's really, as we do it, it opens up so many opportunities to be, sort of productive, like we got in that first minute of like how Copilot can do all these amazing things for you. But then as we get to where it's starting to go pull data from different sources and different places to help you do your job better, we really have to make sure that our governance, compliance, security, infrastructure is all aligned so that, it's doing so in the right manner. So I just think, as this, there's an excitement around it, but there are some other considerations we need to take care of as well. So I'll stop there.
Great. Let's get into business applications. What business applications are you kind of seeing that would attribute to building an offer inside of AI? John, do you want to start with that one?
Yeah. So when we talk about, I think a theme that's been consistent across this is AI helps customers make decisions that helps them drive their business outcomes. So a lot of the technology and the way we're going to deploy it with customers is specific to their needs. A couple ones that we've seen out the gate are what generative AI is very good at. So if you're looking at customer responses, driving something like a call center, or how you're engaging with customers, that's just a very easy use case for it. But we're starting to see a lot more really exciting use cases around personalization. So being able to understand exactly and create a custom conversation with a personalized experience for each customer, pulling in multiple data sources, scrubbing through it, and applying that. My favorite one, though, is just how do we look and operate or optimize some of the things that sellers do on a regular basis? So I used to work as an environmental engineer and work with government bidding. My favorite use case I've seen when we talk to customers is scope of work automation. So this might resonate with a lot of partners on this call. Just, you don't have to spend a lot of time going through a request for a proposal or creating a scope of work. You have a template and you can use AI to go in and just scope that out and be, I think 60 to 70% more efficient is what a lot of our customers have said. And that's something that really resonated, because as soon as you get that use case, then you start to say, okay, well, what can I do next? And really talking about what Jason said is important, because some of the problems you want to solve, like a full personalized 360 experience for customers, take a lot of data movement, modernizing, adding the analytics. But some of these problems, AI is just new technology that gives us a step up. So some of these problems can be solved pretty quickly. So if you go in and you look at all of your, I'm sure a lot of customers have some sort of feedback experience. You can take all of that data and then mine it with AI in about a 10th, right? Or 100th of the time you could do that manually. So just going through and saying, what are the most common issues that a customer talks about? What did our reps respond with? How did that lead to customer satisfaction? Little steps like that are so important to helping driving the message. And this helps customers start thinking about, okay, well, what's next? And what's next? And how can I really apply that? So hopefully that mostly answered the question.
But John, what are your thoughts? And then I'll go to Jason as far as, roadblocks that you're kind of just hearing about.
Yeah, Adam covered it so well. I would just jump in with the specificity, helping make sure that customers have the right expectation. And this isn't really go to market, but AI, we've said it many times, customer expectations, they don't always understand it. So they might not have the right idea of how it's going to help them. Set those expectations earlier. And then to Adam's point, when we say AI, the average consumer, it could be anything, but even at Microsoft, it could be a lot. Are we talking about using Microsoft 365 Copilot? Are we talking about going and doing a full deployment? So getting clear on that from the start, but then really getting specific and having it use case, because we are not just going to say AI is going to solve the problems. Like what Adam said, AI is going to solve this specific problem. Here's why it's good for your industry, your vertical, and how we're going to help deploy it.
Excellent. Jason, from your side, from the infrastructure side, do you see any roadblocks on your side? Have you heard anything that you'd like to share?
I think it's not customers not doing some of the pre-work and so I put in there about user experience and the use cases. In addition to what John and Adam said about small use cases and starting, taking a look at what problems you really need to solve, and then asking the question if AI can solve them, right? Like in using the tools you have can build up to it. Because I think sometimes it's like, well, we just need to use AI and it's going to make us more competitive, but we don't know why. And we don't know why it's making other people more competitive. So really having the business case justified will help partners like Adam and others really be able to say, like, this is what I'm trying to solve for. So then this should be the first use case. This should be the first pilot. This is achievable. And I think, and you can't come to a partner and go, help me figure it out. I mean, I guess you sort of could, but you know your business better. What are the challenges you have? Bring that to the partner and then they can help you figure out how to solve it. So.
I look at this like you go to a restaurant and you open up the menu and there's 400 items. And then you go to a restaurant that has 6 items. And you're like, I bet you that restaurant that has 6 items makes all 6 really good. But the restaurant that has 400 probably aren't very good, right? And this, go to Cheesecake Factory. It's all, come on, right? Like, let's just think about it. Same thing in the part, like if you want to go and offer 400 or 500 AI particular options, you're never going to be great at it. And we're going to go ahead and end on a great note. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next month. Thank you so much for joining. Invite your friends next month. Have a great day.